Hi everyone, this is Richard. In this video we are going to talk about enums. Enums, short for enumerations, is basically a complete list of something. The keyword is enum, and this is basically a specialized type of class. What you put afterwards, that's the class type. And what you put in the curly brackets are all the values inside of here. All right, so everything inside of here is final. You cannot add to the list, you cannot take it away, you cannot edit these or anything like that. It's a little special in the class in and of itself though. So notice it's outside of main. You don't put it inside of other classes, you don't put it inside of functions or anything like that. It's by itself. The several characteristics behind it. Notice that these are not in quotation marks. Okay, so these are not integers, they're not numbers, they're not strings or anything like that. So if I try to make a string, let's just say, for example, quote cat, it's going to give us an error because it's an unexpected token. If you try to put a number inside of here, it's going to give us an error. Unexpected token. If you try to put anything else that's not a number or a string, it's going to go away, right? But if you put, interestingly, of course, you put a 1a, it'll give you an error as well, unexpected token, because it thinks you're trying to put a number in here where these values are not numbers or integers. They're simply values within the class pet. Okay? How you utilize it is you could say print pet dot and whatever you got inside of here. Bird, cat, dog. And what happens if you print pet.bird? The value is pet.bird. That's the value. There is no other values behind this itself. And if you try to look for the type of it, runtime type, the type is pet. So the class is the pet in and of itself. There is not much else to this other than one other thing. You can get index. Where is this in the list? So if I run this 0, 1, 2, in the index, pet.bird has the second position, or the number 2 position. I should say the third position, but the number 2 position, because it starts with 0, right? That's about it. You cannot reverse engineer it. So you can't say print the third character in the class pet. You can't do that. You could say where is bird, but you can't say print the number 2, which will be bird in and of itself. Okay, because remember, this is not a list, this is a special class. This reminds me of, I hope it reminds you a little bit of static class. So I'm going to say lowercase pet. So static string dog. Okay, so you could say print pet.dog, right? You can always do that. But what's the difference? The difference is the value is null, right? Because it's not defined. Let's just put Sparky, and then you print that. So the value is a string. So the runtime type here is string. So this is a string, whereas this is the type of pet. Okay, so that's how things get a little bit different with classes, and plus they're not in an index either. Okay. So what else can we learn about these things? That's mostly about it. I think I went through pet. You could also make a list of the values themselves. What does that actually do? It returns basically a list of things. So if you go list pets equals pet.values, you can always turn it into a list. If you need to, but this in and of itself is not a list. And notice everything is pet dot something, right? So print pets, and I could say the second position, so that would be pet.bird, right? It has to follow pet.something, all right? Now, why do we even use this when you think about it itself? What's the big deal? It is handy, specifically when used with case and switch, or switch and case. So when you think about it, if I have a list, okay, so here is my function, types of pets, type pet, right, that's the type, and here's just a variable. In the switch, it's going to be pet, okay, so it's going to be one of these things. The case has to be pet.dog. See, no quotation marks. Pet.dog, pet.cat. It's not going to be dog. It's going to be pet.dog, remember. It always is. Pet.cat, pet.bird, pet.lizard. So we can say um, what this is. Actually, I don't have anything behind here, so I'm going to say return cat. I'm going to say here return bird. Here I'm going to say return lizard. And up here I'm going to say return dog. Okay? So if I have, and so I'm going to return strings right here. So string pet equals types of pets, and my argument is going to be pet dot bird. Okay, print pet. So what I'm going to say is I have this value, and it's going to take this variable, it's going to take the function pet.bird, okay? So it's going to go down here, pet.bird, and it's going to return bird, and it's going to print bird. Right inside here. Dead code. Okay, because you return something, you remember from before, if the previous video, because you return something, you don't need to actually put a break. You could put a break or a return, okay? So that's undefined named lizard. Return lizard, pet.lizard, return, oh, whoops, you need quotation marks inside here. So enums and switches actually work quite well together. There is dead code, expected defined. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, there we go. Expected find something. So they work very well together. In what ways? You don't need to add a final here. Okay, so what if, for example, before I run the program, okay, because while the program is running, you cannot add things. Remember, because at runtime, after you run it, you cannot add it because these are final. But before, I can change the code, of course, and I could say hamster, right? I could just add that, then I run it again. But it's going to give you a problem. Missing case clause for hamster right inside of here. This is kind of one of the computer's way of helping you out, the editor's way itself of saying, hey, wait a minute, your programming is having a problem. So that you can always add it later on. Hamster. Hamster. Okay, so this is one of those tips and tricks to help you out. So it's sometimes when this list gets very large, it's hard to keep track of it. By using enums, in addition, whichever value you have here, and you have an equivalent value right here, it's very helpful in that case. Therefore, you don't need to put a default value right there, right? So that's the nice thing about using enums, switching cases themselves, okay? So I think that's about it with enums and switch and case. And if there's any questions, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. Now, I think this is going to be the last, maybe for a while, of the videos for learning to program in Dart. I think we've gone through quite a bit. And if you've gone through all of the videos themselves, you'll probably be able to read most code, even just looking at it. And if there's might be a few situations where you don't understand the code, but you should have the basis for that. I think the next step is we're going to have to learn is web programming. And I hope that you're going to be interested in that. And that'll be next. In the future, I might add some more values onto this, but for now, I think I'm going to leave the command line Dart for now. Thank you very much.